My name is Don Arbonat. I'm a formerly incarcerated individual who've experienced everything that these recent speakers just spoke about. I work for an organization by the name of Vote Voice of the Experience, who is dedicated. We are dedicated. We are dedicated to restoring the full civil and human rights of those most impacted by incarceration, our families, and our allies. I did say I'm a formerly incarcerated person. I was there on these farm lines, and that's the very first time that I was able to just get a glimpse of what happened to people that look like me. I used to see the images on TV during the civil rights movement. I used to see it in print media and so forth and so on. But I experienced what my grandparents and great grandparents went through when I entered the farmline at Angola. It was just unbelievable. I couldn't even, you know what, to this day, I don't understand how we were able to deal with what we dealt with. I guess it's the resilience of people like us because we have come through some ages and eons, right, to get where we are today. But some of the conditions that we experienced in Angola, it was unprecedented. Some of the killings, some of the brutality in the fields, in those fields. Hundreds of us scattered out over those fields in extreme heat under all type of conditions. We would go out in foggy weather. They know it was too foggy to put us in the field. They'll just line us up on the fence line. Nobody could move until the fog cleared. That fog may have not cleared until 11, 12 o'clock, and we are sitting along a fence line. We've gone out in cold, unbearable cold, and many times you are standing in that cold, waiting on orders to go from one field to another, march from one line to another. It was just unbelievable. Uh, they talk about the conditions. When we were thirsty, they had a horse-drawn carriage would come around with a water tank on it, and they had cans, literally like cold drink cans, maybe 2 or 3 hanging from that bucket thing, and you would get in line and go and drink from a can. One can, and it was just numerous people drinking out of one can. We don't know what other people ahead of us had, if they had anything, but we drank out of those same type of cans. We've actually been spoken to and said things to us that was unbelievable, but it was said, you know. I used to always think about what my foreparents went through, actually experienced at the hands of white people. We all experienced that were in those farmlines. We all have images of that. When I was released, I still have images of that. I know what they are going through every day they go out in those fields. And the fact that the way this case went, I'm not surprised. People like me are not surprised. Just think about it. Nothing has gone our way since we came to this country or was brought to this country, brutally brought to this country. Nothing have gone our way. So when you talk about something that's dehumanizing, Angola farmline, the conditions in the dormitories and stuff like that, where men would literally come out of those fields, cane cotton fields, and fall asleep on a cot and wouldn't even go and eat. They were too tired to go and eat. Would not even shower. Some men did not shower for days because they were too tired. They would have to get up the morning and go back to that field. We went through those type of conditions. In the rain, in the cold, in the fog, and in the heat, we experienced those kinds of conditions daily. I was in the farm line, not days, not weeks, months. I was in the farm line for years. When you enter that prison and they process you, you went to the farm lines. And I mean, people just like me, we used to all talk about the same things. We talked about the same things, the brutality that we saw. A lot of those men would not have recommitted a crime or whatever they did in prison had it not been for the conditions It breed that type of thing the same way it did on those plantations, the brutality on those plantations. It breeded brutality. It breeded hatred. Yes, it did. And I experienced that. Slavery never ended in Louisiana. We know all that. We all know that. Men on Angola farmline are compelled to work under conditions that I just spoke about that mimic slavery. They are punitive. They never was to, like they speak about this process of rehabilitation. That's the word I'm looking for. It's not for no rehabilitation. How can it be a farmline? Think about it. Under those type of conditions, it was punitive. Those people on those horses with those guns saying all type of ugly things to you and calling you all type of names, it was punitive. Having you work under those conditions, it was punitive. It did not have any type of rehabilitative effect or cause inherent in that. It was all punitive. So that's what we did. We were working under conditions, compelled to work under conditions that mimic slavery. That's what it was designed to do. No other way. Some of the men forced to work on the farmline have lasting trauma. I have trauma today from the farmlines, and I know many more do because I'm in contact with them. We talk about it, right? Including recurring nightmares of being enslaved or seeing bodies lynched in the farmline fields. I've actually seen people killed in the fields. I've seen stabbing in the fields. I've seen men hit with dish bank blades in the field. Yeah. The farmline, I said, is abusive. It's dehumanizing. It ignores the inherent dignity of human beings. People who are working while incarcerated deserve the same dignity and protections of all other workers. To the people still in Angola, to their families and support people and loved ones, please don't give up. We aren't. We can and will end this form of slavery in Louisiana and elsewhere. Matter of fact, Louisiana going to be a model for other places like Mississippi and Alabama and so forth and so on. The forced farmline labor is just one example of exploited practices that are present in Louisiana plantation prison. I didn't say anything about prison enterprises, the money they make off us in the canteens. What'd that bring you back to? You never own anything. Everything the state owns. They charge these exorbitant prices for just things that you would not believe. Like, what, really? Yeah, they they put those type of prices on those things in the stores. So you never have money. You never have money. Our ancestors never had money. It was always taken. They had to buy from the plantation. Don't give up. To those that are still inside, to the families and loved ones of those inside, and those that are post-release right now, don't give up. Thank you.